Hello students, and thank you for continuing with the program. To summarize, we learned how to write our first words and have a little conversation with Python. We learned what was Python and what was idle, the interpreter, and how to install Python in our computer. Right now we're going to talk about what is a Python program. Now, you know that we can use the Python shell for having conversations like this with Python, in which we could use either words, or we can also use Python as a calculator. You can think of the Python shell as kind of an actor who will perform whatever Python commands you give it. In other words, you tell the command shell what you want your program to do using the Python language. If the instructions don't make sense as you saw, then Python tells us it can't understand it, and it does this with an error such as the ones that we saw before called traceback errors, which normally were shown in red. The process of taking a program and then acting on the instructions is called interpreting the program, and that's what we call idle, the interpreter. Computers solve problems for us by interpreting program instructions. Now, not all programming languages are scripting languages such as Python. Sometimes program instructions are converted into very low-level instructions that the hardware of your computer understands. This process is called compilation, and the program that performs this conversion is called a compiler. I remember when I was learning how to program encoding about 20 years ago, we used to use something called Unix or BASIC. We will write the code instead of like an editor, and then we will try to compile it just like we do now with the shell into something called a compiler. The compiler will run the program, and then it will tell us where the errors are. And then we have to go back to square one and kind of fix in the editor the things that weren't right, to then run it again in the compiler later on. Now, the compile instructions can then be loaded into the computer to be executed. This technique produces programs that can run very fast, because when the compile low-level instructions are performed, the computer doesn't have to figure it out what the instructions mean. They can just be obeyed. Well, you might think that this means that Python is a slow computer language, because each time a Python program runs, Python must work out the meaning of each command before performing it. However, this is not really a problem, because modern computers run very, very fast, and Python uses some clever tricks to compile your programs as it runs. A Python program is simply a plain text file script created with an editor. So you can use Windows Notepad like we said before, and Atom. However, Atom has the advantage of helping with the code and spaces. Python files end with the extension py. Python programs can be executed by stating the script file named after the Python command at a terminal prompt.